Hello friends, in this session we are going to understand how to apply the Lamis theorem and what are the different conditions that has to be considered before applying the Lamis theorem. So here I'll take a very simple example in order to understand Lamis theorem. I'll take a three forces. Let it be this is F1, then I'll take another force F2 at certain angle, and then the last force that is F3. Okay, so I'll mention the names of it. So this is F1, then the F2, and finally the F3. I'll mention the angles between these forces as well. So let it be this is alpha, this is beta, and finally the gamma. So three forces and the three angles. Now what are the different conditions that has to be considered before applying the Lamis theorem? So first thing is the force system created by these three forces must be in a equilibrium. Equilibrium means your summation fx and summation fy must be 0 for the concurrent force system, and summation fx, summation fy and summation moment must be equal to 0 for the general force system. So here this is a concurrent force system, okay, created by three forces. So first thing is it must be in a equilibrium. It must be in a equilibrium. So I'll write here first condition, that is equilibrium. Then the second condition is there must be three forces. There must be three forces. You cannot go with the two forces or more than three forces. Condition is only three forces are allowed to apply the Lamis theorem. So now the second condition is three forces. Now these three forces must act at a one point. It means they must form a concurrent force system. This theorem is not applicable for the general force system. Okay, so when you draw the FBD, always find a point, okay, at which three forces are acting, and then only you can apply what? The Lamis theorem. So the condition is must be a coplanar concurrent forces. So in this example you can see this F1, F2 and F3 are passing through a single point or acting at a single point, and that's why they form a concurrent force system. Now the next condition is their direction. These three forces must be either away from the point, acting away from the point, or towards the point, okay, or in other words I can say either tensile or compressive. So these are the tensile forces, or you can say acting away from the point. If I want to show you in the another direction, that is a compressive, then it will be like this. If I want to show the compressive forces, then one force, then another force over here, and then the third force. So this system is like a compressive forces or acting at a single point and towards that point. Okay, so these two configurations you can consider for the applying the Lamis theorem. So here either towards or away from the point through which these three forces are passing or acting. Now the thing is that how to apply the Lamis theorem. Now we have a three forces F1, F2, F3. We have angles between them, alpha, beta and gamma. So how to apply this? According to the Lamis theorem, it states that if a body is under equilibrium under the action of three forces which are coplanar concurrent forces, okay, then each force is proportional to the sine of angle between other two forces. So it means what? If I consider F1 over here, if I consider F1, then it is proportional to the angle between, or you can say sine of the angle between other two forces. If I consider F1, other two forces are F2 and F3, and the angle between these two is alpha. So I'll write here F1 upon sine of angle between other two forces, that is alpha. Similarly, if I want to write it for the F2, then I'll write like F2 is the force under consideration, so the remaining two forces are F1 and F3, so the angle between these two is beta. So I'll write here sine of beta. And finally F3. So F3 upon angle, sine of angle between other two forces, that is F1 and F2. So it is a gamma. So sine of gamma. So here I am getting equation, and this equation is nothing but a Lamis theorem. So one more thing I want to mention here is, even after applying this Lamis theorem, you have a three forces, then you have a three angles, but in order to solve the problem, you must have a known, you must have at least one force known. Okay, you must have the value of either F1, F2 or F3. Okay, so at least one force must be known, and these angles, all angles must be known to solve this. If you know F3, you can equate these two ratios and you will get the answer. If you know F2, you can equate with the F1 or F3's ratio and you will get the answer for the other two forces. So keep in mind that though three forces are making concurrent force system, and system is in equilibrium, but in order to solve the problem, we must know at least one force and all other angles. Okay, so this is the equation for the Lamis theorem, which is we have obtained from this force system. I hope the idea is clear to you about how to apply the Lamis theorem and when to apply, and what are the different conditions when you are considering the application of Lamis theorem. If you have any queries, you can put it in the comment box, okay, and I will definitely revert back to you. So in the next class, we are going to actually apply the Lamis theorem to solve the problems. So let's start with the first problem.